Hello. What? Happy 20th Dynamo. No, should I say Dynamo the 20th? Dynamo is indeed an anagram of Monday. Dynamo, who invented such a incredible feat of human engineering, I believe. If you look, it will be the Serbian, or also known as the American Serbian, Nikola Tesla. This is entitled Origin of Man, Human Creature, Placenta, and Eat It. But I'd rather have put, if I'd had the space, have your cake and eat it. I'll jump straight in once the scribes, indigos, initiates, scribes, guild members, supporters of the guild, herbalists, mentalists, fam, brothers, sisters. I have got somewhat of an important update, and it's partly due to Crow 777, and I believe what was the video? The video may have been number something like 195. I lost my boat at the portal, so I happen to have shared Crow 777. There's few of them. There's more than one video you'll need to have a look at, but that's not the point. The point is we're on the 20th Dynamo Monday, anagram of January 2020. I promised you 2019 was the last year of confusion, misery, pestilence, suffering, sorrow, etc., legal bondage and surety for. And because I have shared, and Sister Nonna, I believe you shared it with me, so that's how it came to my mince pies and shell likes. It's not a surprise, it's not new, but what this does is reinforces the work and the discovery, the doctrine of discovery, yeah, we'll come to that later. It reinforces and makes the job easier, because this is the beginning piece that not many talk about. What's the man's name? I need to give a shout, thanks, salutations, love and light to the guest, that Crow 777, his guest Curtis, Richard, Colin of the family estate clan Back, B-A-C-H. So from the top, Curtis, Richard, Colin Back. Now that's a name to say thanks for. That's a true sovereign, initiate of self, masterly, scholarly, etc. Because what he's done, let's credit straight at the beginning to those two fine brothers. You may be privy or remember that I have spoken briefly to Crow over on Sun and Moon, with topics of eccentricism, I'll say. I can't remember, a year or so ago. Sister Special K, aka Karen from Sun and Moon, we may need to have a little family get together on the back of an enlightened Crow into the further works that we've done. You know, I've brought to you, not I, but recently I have helped bring and rebring the works of oh no, I've put myself on the spot, Caesar's Messiah, Joseph at will, and from the you know, the ages of antiquities, we've got what did Santos call him now? Come on, Josephus, yeah, see, look at that, just pops in. Thank you, brother S. Bonacci. I don't know if he said this recently and brother Curtis has picked up on this, or if others have said this before, but because I was watching it and I was just so full of glee, grinning like a Cheshire cat, you know, the conception is where we're going to go with this. All right, I'll cut to the chase. What is it, Dave? What we doing? What go on? We are not all privy to Crow's video. Okay, then I'll stop. We'll go to the beginning. The origins of man. You can reference Darwinism, and Darwin's also reference to the origin species of man. We can also reference that we've chatted about before, the human creature. Hue is colour, in some realms, you know, in language of English. Creature, human creature. All right, origin of a man and a human creature. Placenta, That is the you know, mums, dads, we all know what a placenta is. You know, that's where we leave the young ones to get looked after. No, I said placenta, like a Sheffield placenta, not a placenta. And yes, that's Greek, translated. It's not Greek, but in Greek, placenta is cake. Cakes are eaten every birthday. All right, so that bit we haven't touched on too much, but you know, there are some nations, tribes, continents that believe eating the placenta brings you closer to the Most High Creator. Yeah, Josh brought out the place that you enter, and we saw that Brother Santos had repeated some of this gnosis and our thoughts and comparisons and you know, gnosises of new merging with the old, coming back to something new with the consciousness, you know. So place that you enter, placenta and placenta, just a slight tweak. That's what we do here. A soup's on. It's like a chef in a kitchen, but we've got an alphabet soup for you today. If you're a new scribe and you're new to me, the channel, this line of discovery, I'll apologize now. You're gonna get your Swede kettled a little bit, but don't worry. We know what go on, and this is really excellent, forthright. Sister, shout to, I need to say, a lady called Sarah gave this to me at least 3 years ago on the Book of Faces, and it warped my mind from a very naive point of legal law and spiritual standing. So the origin of man would be spiritual, a human creature would be created, you know, conceived, conceptualized human creature monster made by man, legal. All right, so Dan and his data self have now gone spiritual Dan and legal human creature monster digital Dan. And that's explained a bit there, and what go on. So I'm referencing from mind. I haven't got notes, so just bear with, man. And we're going to reference some of the topics now that was put onto that video that I have referenced already, with Crow and the brother there, Curtis. He mentions a zygote as a starting point for man, in his you know, conceptualization. Fertilization goes off, conception, you know, if successful, and then after, if there is an implantation, you know, attaching to the wall of the uterus, then it's not really recognized or successful till it has it implanted. That brings me to implantations and slaves and implantations, and just to hold up, but you know, we'll pin that. This is really going to help with the publications that we've done and the works, you know, I can now go to the publications and add what Sweden's given, and I can also add this little bit at the beginning, which I didn't really have to have a thought about, to be honest, recently. This has made me sit up straight, to be fair, and recognise that this is golden. It's a nugget of, which is why I've come straight to tube. I'm very tired at the end of a miserable moon day. The moonstrel cycle is the moonarchy and the moon eye, but you know, you need it. It's take it and run, and we shall see what go on. So we have the conceptualization, you know, of an implantation attaching to the wall of the uterus. You know, this is baby what I'm talking about here, where he explains there's a job to be done, and as dad and mum get the job done, they do the dance in the bedroom, all right, and then by some miracle a divine spark happens, Noah's ark and the fertilization and the conception and then the implantation, all successful processes. Mum and dad don't control that, the body does. You know, the I don't know what does. Yeah, exactly. So that is the bit that we've missed when we talk about birth certificates and legal and titles and property. Then this is really, you'll see, but I'll carry on, but you'll see why this is so much of a crux. And at the beginning of our publications, this will really help cement and, you know, further remove plausible deniability spiritually, on a religious and a legal level. So we have this job of mum and dad, and then we have this miracle of which the divine laws allow the conceptual and fertilization. No man, no woman, no judge, no jury, no executioner. All right, it's nothing to do with man. It's spiritual, it's divine, and it's a spark, and it happens, and it's successful. It's attached to the wall of the uterus. It's baby, cells, mitosis, etc. Now it's legally recognized. You know, it's a term. It's a term in a what? In a torus, a terminator. We're having a terminator now. We've got a fetus, you know, at some point coming eventually in the womb for 9 months. This is where, okay, let's just stop. Asia and other continents will recognize life beginning and life meaning birth dates and times now. Yeah, when we go Satanistic, and I said with Santos that Saturn isn't always bad. Saturn has got many other connotations to it other than dark, semantic, Crowley, you know, and other such you know, energies with it. We'll go Chronos, and we'll go Father Time. So yes, the Bible's helping us understand the zodiac is in truly you know, paralleled comparisons here, and other such stories of. So the Saturn is the time, the Father, the Chronos, and we have this you know, time considered, all right, in the womb that is irrelevant in academic, legal, lawful, birth registration, general registry office, Western American standard, medicinal. But when they talk about it on the Crow's channel and they examine it further, they give you points and argumentation for these cultures of Asia and so forth, you know, recognizing time, conception, life, spirit, soul, and they almost have a life, a year of life before they enter, which is the terminator, where the term is finished and terminated. The fetus is no longer called a fetus, and it becomes the baby that is born again. What else have I got that's coming to mind then? He mentions about the implantation, what was it now, the monster chromosomes of baby, because the monster legal definitions will go there later. All right, scribes, we've done that enough times. We have 46 then, so 23 of dad and 23 of mum would make the 46 for the baby, but then mum is the one that's host with baby, so we have mum with her 46, and then inside another 46 chromosomes, which are comprised of mum and dad, which are attached to mum via the placenta. That was interesting. And then you've got, that's where Sister Sarah got to me some years ago and started talking to me about the legal classifications of different beings and what the Roman Catholic claims as the mother and how it gets in there. Then we had Smithy's interpretation of midwifery, midwife, husbandry role, etc. Man mentions on that video with Crow about the mother. I'll come to that later. That'll loop back up, because the legalized areas is what concerns me. And when we say a date of birth, I've told you before, man's date of birth is hearsay. My person has a date of birth, you know, so this is pinning back to that. Your certification with the birth date on and the registration date, yeah, is the person, the legal format there, the entity, the corporate insurance policy, as you'll come to call it now, getting back to God via Jesus. So the motherly claim from the Roman Catholic Church, the opinionated legal definitions of chromosomes and mum and afterbirth and things like that. Then we've got the monster apparition, because of the you know, the genes and the chromosomes, sorry, and the mixture there. And then we've got, furthermore, biblically opinionated, we would never have then come out of our mother, never mind, you know, this husbandry role, because in there it says, you know, about coming out of your mother, and if you're born and you know, birthed, as they say, and you know, your placenta is there and it's inside. You know, it's all very, you know, intricate, and I loved it. The Hebrew Bible would be when the Old Testament is mentioned, which would span about 1200 to 165 BC, and then you've got like Caesar's Messiah, which is the New Testament as we've come to know, and you can call it from 1, yeah, year 1, AD, CE, Common Era AD, to 2020. So the Old Testament, that was excellent when man put Old Testament as baby gestating and going through the series of evolution from some cells, mitosis, up to the embryonic point, and going through the lizard and such evolutionary stages, evolution of man from the zygote, though, the starting point, up to the termination, goodbye fetus, hello baby. So Old Testament finishes, fetus finishing, New Testament begins, year one, Caesar's Messiah, 2020, bish bash bosh. I'm loving it. Do you know what I mean? The 20th of Jan, and we are already set to smash through barriers and rewrite, recode and encode successfully, argumentatively. That was poetry in motion. Again, the testaments, I would say, would be to help us understand the zodiac, the religion, self, law, all of this, and the baby and the 9 months before that we've all lost. When we are a fetus and are alive, we're not conscious, I'll give, but we are here, and we have arrived. We have ported in, if the legal realm was to say. We have sojourned in. The creator of the universe has said yes. When mum and dad did the bedroom dance, and there's magic happening. Mum's got a bun in the oven, and it's not all her. It's half dad, it's half mum, it's attached to mum. And then, I'm not happy about this. I don't say it's right. I'm not saying that this gives me pleasure in some ways, because it's the work that we do and what we've been doing for so long, that now is the piece of the puzzle which doesn't go at the end. It goes at the beginning, but the beginning bit is what makes it finish at the end. Do you see what I mean? It's like the serpent eating the tail. We'll carry on. Terminated fetus, where was I? Birth and baby, terminator, Torah, toroidal, again tor pops up, termination of the fetus, baby is coming and delivered in the, we've gone through this in the military, in the wards. Property is mentioned again by brother Curtis, Crow. Crow's like stopping him and framing it and slowing it down. It's not as rash as this summarization. It's rather compressed, but I know you're more au fait, and I can't wait for your comments for me to look at. I'm not looking yet, because I'll stray from the path, the subject matter. And the property being the issue is damn right there, property, and what we haven't looked at, property, trust, equity, initiates, indigos, etc., is that when the zygote, I've put the Y as an I, as zakynthos, and so as I'm used to, zygote is the term there, the medical term, and that is that would be the entirety of our biological estate. So when we're talking about estates and land and rights and access, what has David and the Indigos, what have we all missed, and what have we got Curtis and Crow to thank for? Because even though we're quite far ahead in the realm of, we're quite retarded in this area, and I totally would not have got this for a long time, if not, ever. So, the claim to the estate, your name and your time, equity, first in time, first in line, remember that one. Let's rewind. What did I say? The zygotes is the beginning. It's the entirety of our biological estate, one would argue. Our sovereignty extends over our biological universe, and we would be the lord of that universe. All right. The doctrine of discovery. He mentioned that about the non-Christian, anything that's found, such as discovery in a courtroom that's non-Christian, would be then claimable for Rome. So if man didn't know whom and he needed salvaging and claiming, then the Romans could claim that under the doctrine of discovery, which is what goes off in the courtroom, and you get your summary judgment and your failure to X, Y, and Z, and you get your salvage and your salvation coming off through the one of the lines of the priests and the papacy, as it is as we know it. So from the top, conception is the key. There is one day, okay, and that would be kind of hearsay. The midwife, the mum, she generally knows when they're late and by how much, and the menstrual cycle Moon Day. Wow, dynamo. Just random, but synchronicity. They know roughly the conceptualization of that, and they call it a product of conception, to be quite cold. I have seen that terminology in medical terms regarding baby, the sired offspring, the young star to be. Yeah, so sorry, but just, and they would give you a rough date. So that was the hearsay part, because it can't be definitively ever, you know, roughly. You might even know the day when you actually got with your soulmate, or I don't know if mate, soulmate, shipmate, your partner, your other one, your queen, your king. You may even remember the day that you was conceived, like Brooklyn, for instance. I'll leave it there. And you see, so it's kind of hearsay, because you couldn't even say that. You might be, some would be able to say the minute and the hour, and it'd be very romantic and nice, but other than that, which is rare and unique, it'd be hearsay, conjecture, and you know. So they give you, and then after you are conception, and you are the terminated and terminated and delivered as a product in a room, you have your birth date then after your conception day. Then later on in time we have a registration date. So now we've got the 3. All right, 3 again. Hello everyone. Yes, David, I've noticed the number 3 slapping me on the face, and I was like, okay, so we need to use that, because 3 is key. Because if you forget that life that began those 9 months prior to that, what did we call it, arbitrary, you know, legal registration, bonded, surety, ignorant, sinful, walking away from, going as a dependent, because if you are using certification and bonds, you are dependent on these type of ones anyway, you know, the way that we all have as a legal trustee, because then they step in and be the middleman between you and God. I and God, God, in God we trust, etc. So those 3 times are to be used wisely, all right, and with new knowledge and new insight, and liquidated. You're going to write this down. If you write down a date, you would liquidate, because you've used a pen. Yeah, so liquidated the time, the chronos, the Saturn. And what they do is they liquidate, man. They put down on paper with a pen. Yeah, so the papa comes into play again, not dad, papa, Nicole, papa, no, not man papa, the paper, the papa. That's what it is. It's papa, wasn't it? The papyrus paper from the cuneiform blocks, etc. The papa and the liquid dates man. So that's man's dying, doom, death, gone, kaput, finished, as we've said. But not man dying. That's just the assumed and presumed mandated secular protocols of said stronghold being now placed upon thee from the age of 7 as abandoned, lost, CQV, that killed the life that was, or whatever before it, Sestake V. And there you see, alongside, they did mention the papacies and the proclamations of the Unum Sanctum, Eterni Regis, CQV, so they are knowledgeable. The dexterity to Crow and to Curtis was good, controlled, calm, hardly any legal, no legal. It was just, you know, to do with biology, rights, ownership, property, chromosomes. Very, very well done. On all levels, to be fair. I'm jealous of that outlay, but I'm so humbly grateful for it as well, because what I can do with it is add to, which will now increase the yield of our previous and help others. You know, it's like a jet stream that we help people hit, you know. So those that want it, yeah, you know, it's on its way. It is on, yeah. So your birth certificate would be your corporate insurance policy, as we've said. And I like the way that Curtis, we need to coin this one. Well, not coin it, but I will frame it, coin it, rewind selector, and say, Curtis, genius, the Santa Claus. He said something like that, I'm sure he did, if you rewind selector. Not on the video that I've shared, but on a previous video. You know, you forgot what, who, where and why. And so this is the insurance policy, the Santa Claus, the Santa Claus clause. What else did he say? Something about federal and reserves and God's covenant with man, federal. I need to check that definition. I'm not doubting him, but I'm just saying I haven't looked at federal and reserve with the implications and the implied meanings and definitions of what he was saying was bang on. I don't doubt it for a minute, but I'd like to get the first-hand knowledge and Prince and Bouvier's and you know, Blackstones and Miriam's and Webster's and so forth. I'm tired, it's been a long day, bear with. And getting back to that train of thought, where was I? God, forgetfulness. If you get lost and I get lost, and you know, we've said this and we've brought this out, you can find God by finding Jesus in the New Testament. You know, we brought Constantine out as well as this Joseph Atwill, Josephus, the families, the lineages, the Caesars, the Messiahs, right up to Nero and the demise. Yeah, it's just fantastic. This is you know, we've said this, and the KJV and the implications of the you know, and including certain editions and texts and printed ways of the New Testament and editions of, leave it there. You needed before to have a lot of money, a lot of wealth, and you needed to have some kind of intercessor, or you needed a, you know, a priest, a line of the priest to get to the God. Just not anybody can get to God, the creator. No, it's not like that. There's a way, a methodology, a language, and you know, much like the courts, it's got its own you know, encumbrant mechanisms. Now the laws that we see that we're bringing to you, the secular, the legal, the public, and then the biblical, my law is the Bible. If justice is made profitable, you know, etc. The laws, these are hiding these, and we'll go back to it because it does now. When we say Saturnian, it's not just about Satan, it's about Chronos and time and father time and how this is done and why the zodiac links back in. These ideals, the magenta pixie, help me now, the Armageddon program is what she said, is part of it by these you know, systems. It's now it's a clock, and the stars are, and when I realized I'm helping you to see how I see it. I'm not saying I'm right, but others have proclaimed and helped me see and find a path. And the legal programs, the agendas and the binding is finished. It's over. We're going to print it, and you can repeat it. Go tell it on the mountains. Go watch Crow. Do what you need to do. The you know, certificates are evidence of dependence, all right, because we're using them. We're not independents, and you know, we're volunteering still in many ways. I am aware of that. I'm breathing in. I'm having inspirals, inspiration, yes, inspiralation, and breathing in and living in spiral, expiration, breathing out, and you die, your terminal death. I like that, how they put that as well, because some meditation, I'm wrapping up, all right, then we go into comments, will be required, pondering on. Wow, you know, Papa C, we go back to the mum and dad now, Papa, Nicole, Dad, Papa, Papa C, and that would be regards to bonds and certificates, the line of the priest, the Papa C, and paparazzi, the C of, you know, rats of paper, and that's how the dirty rats have done this. So you don't now need, what did I say, an intercessor or you know, a line of a priest to get to know. Knowledge of whom you and you know, where you are, your realm, means that you have ultimate knowledge of what you are. So this is the beginning, right at the beginning. It was just overlooked, silly, foolish in some ways, you know, schoolboy error, starting from the paper, forgetting, you know, I have had chats about this, and I've forgotten I had chats about this, and then when this came on I went, oh, Sarah, no way. And I thought, I will expand now, and I will get others that are qualified with the midwifery and the different parts of, right from conception and involvement of state and church up to military, sometimes, you know, hospital wards of, and then to the paper, central bank, IMF monetary system, sin, debtor, lost from God. What a joke. I will say it for you before I read the comments. What a joke. An absolute, Crow says it like it's a forest that every man's got to walk through, and there's a bear trap in the forest, and you know, this is just not cricket, it's not crumpet, okay? We don't agree and contract and do this. Why? Because we had to give the gold, allegedly, and not we, but the you know, the powers that be, and then debt and money and government and business is where we're at. And you know, the monarchy, the moonarchy, I've mentioned that, moon day, moony, moon eye, moonarchy, what they've done with their titles in the family there by stepping out and saying goodbye to sovereign grants and having to pay back is quite commendable in this 2020. I could not Adam and Eve it, because the title, they, you know, get out of Babylon and so forth, if you do not want to share in with her, this is a paraphrase, with the sins. So they've kind of exited an environment, and I am not a royalist in any way, but if I was some kind of Russell Granty intuitive mind, I would read into those actions that speak louder than words, and I'd be like, wow, the tides are turning. Reality as I know it, I've give up with trying to know what go on, what might go on, why it go on, or anything. It starts at home, all of this, knowing yourself, whom you are. This is right at the beginning, and it was just a pure delight to see. And for the, I haven't explained, you will need to watch the video. I haven't got the exact, you know, everything's, but I want you, I'm interested in the feedback. We will have an extended hangout with others, and see where we can go over on Sun and Moon with an open mic bounce back, because the etymology that we play with, that's why I did Dynamo Monday, just to show the dexterity of the wordplay that we self initiates of self. We're not experts or higher than anybody. We're just I'm just a weirdo, to be fair, that likes numbers, and Jeremita is the family name, as brother Curtis has gave his full name on the video. I've always been open and you know, about my Jeremita family estate, clansman's name, very close to gematria. I didn't know what that was until some years ago, and it turns out it's one of the biggest things, you know, to me, and the work that I do in the discovery, and the kingpin of things is, you know, the numbers don't lie. There is a code there. They didn't just randomly collect all of this and you know, put this together. It does follow structure. I know Josh has come along and others and added extra levels to it, like we've just had an extra level added with the Old Testament, the date ranges, the New Testament and the date ranges. And when I heard that, I went, yes, that's something I've never thought of, but with our research that will fit in, and it fits in like a well cut piece of the jigsaw that brother Curtis has cut himself, that I've then taken to put into our jigsaw piece puzzle, and it fits. It's a universal fitting piece, which is what we have here on the way to the golden age, declaring, you know, the world's heritage, you know, common for man, all of the world's resources, common heritage for man, away from the corpses. So I was just you know, yeah, very, very inspired enough to do all this and to recap for you. So to the 16, thank you to the 4 thumbs up. When you see this in printed form and in the full publication of the revised editions that we've got going off at the minute, then, you know, and with your input, your dialogue, your edits, works, discoveries, then we can add that too as well, make it a family collective. That's an international offer. That's not just to white Anglo-Saxon English Britannia's landmass. it's to all. So we have got from Gemstone some documents in I think Romanian and I think now Croatian, something about the world agenda that's is very deep but very well put together. You've got the antiquities and scholars and academics to go and research and source through as well. So Eric, hello. Andy, Sister Lise, Renee, new scribe, hello there. I did say to the new ones, this may mash you to kettle your Swede, so don't worry, I'm interested on comments. And no, there's no video, I'm quite tired, I'll just mask it over. The parents make a covenant, ark of the covenant, indeedy. Covenants of the governance. They have stolen with word salad. Yeah, that's a good point. We've all got a lot. Thank you, sis. Is it sister? It might be. I'm inclined to think that's a female energy. May just be the colour purple, icon, Renner. But we've all been filling our heads with these, words of Oxford. Again, we've talked about Oxenford and the words. We've collected them up. Many of them we've been educated, indoctrinated, and mostly it's legal. Person, it's like when you learn French and you get a masculine and a feminine, or when you're doing English grammar and you've got adjectives, pronouns, frontal adjectives, metaphors, similes, and etc. Yes, and nouns, verbs. And we've been taught person and certain legal words, but we haven't been taught the lawful words, and those are the ones that often count when you go out there and you speak. If you speak in a legal dialogue, woe betide you. And you speak in a lawful dialogue, then you can't be legally contracted because that's lawful. It's legal is straight in. Yes, fly trappery. So the word salad is alphabet soup, bang on. Mark, hello, do you look like another new scribe? Greetings, thank you for your time. Maxwell, Jordan Maxwell of the house, Jordan of the house, Maxwell. Coffee, anyone? Yes, I have lots of his documents and watched many hours of him. Legend. Mitochondria, the battery of cells. How about it? Yeah, that's it. Amazing, isn't it? Where the energy comes from, and when your cells and your salts and your waters and things are on point, you can harness a lot of energy. Cells, organic. We're drifting from the point, but yes, I am that I am. Indeed, we are. I think, therefore I am. Something's happened in Dubai, has it? All right, just got an interesting text come through. Thank you for that, brother. In that land, you know where you are. Howdy, at least, Dave. Great people. Menza, easy now. I don't know how much of this you've heard, but we're very thankful for the information that's been bestowed in a new, truly unique way. Awaiting wisdom. Yes, how are we doing? Greetings, salutations, initiates, indigos, scholars, masters, scribes, fam. yeah. May the prophets of your wisdom fill the pockets of your mind. Indeed they do, Lisa. I'll eat all that up right now. Conception, the period 14 days after fertilization, divine spark, get in. Thank you, Jerry. I'm not giving this exact, I can only give you what I can remember. And I was just so happy, and I think we may be able to have a chat, I dare say, and with Crow again, or Crow. I'm not volunteering anybody, but I'm open. We've done a lot of the groundwork. This is he's done a lot of the groundwork. I know he spoke to Robert Sproul as he before, so let's see what go on in 2020. That's all I'll say, fam. And he loves the moon as well. And we've got the Crow House making noise. Crow 777. Crow's got moony. Just watch out for the synchronicities. The Anders. Easy. How you doing, brother? As soon as I see you, I'm chuckling. Thank you, Anders, for that boost. Boost fit, Davey. Proof of thank you, Eric. Interesting comment. Of course it can. You could use witnesses for that as well, couldn't you? By that definition. Definition of natural is idiot, fool. The idiot is also one who is not trained in legalese. Fool, yes. Die easy now. All right, what we're saying. Spinning. You got me spinning round, boys. No, the video I put into somewhere, either the .com and I might put it into the claim of life on there, but I have said what the video is, and wait there, as it's you will need to look at video numbers. I'll help you out. I'm too good to you, aren't I? The most recent one, I'm going to do it in reverse because I do nothing normal, that knows me, is number 195. That would be the last one you watch. I watched that first. I worked my way backwards like, that knows. I saw ending and then I went and watched beginning. A bit like this. We've written the ending and now we've just got a nice interpretation of the beginning of the end. 195. I lost my boat at the portal or something like that, I said it was. Then I watched number 188. Did you come to be at whatever it is? They're all an hour long roughly. I like the way he does that in our professional, you know. Sometimes I'm like, no, I need more. What do you mean 1 hour? You can at least do 2, Crow. Come on, Crow. We need to have a petition. You know, start something like a hot political spiritual topic like this. Minimum a 5-hour chat. All right, we'll have an intermission. You can have a smoke break, a drink break, a gym break, whatever break you need. Just let's get job done. Having to wait, you know, that's like, no. I know others are annoyed by things that I do, and I am no way perfect, and that isn't a go at him. It's just that sometimes I'm like, I need more. 188, yeah, and then 183. That's the only ones I've seen then. All right. Hit Tesla on thumbnail. Much love to Nikolai. Now I've lost where I was in the chat. Let's go to live. Pretty much finished. I've said everything I needed to say, and we're going to expand on this further. Publicise, expand to, and this evening, here we go. Got the Menzo back. Yes, Lisa, Monarch Butterfly. Have a look at Lifting the Veils channel, and he's got some videos. He's got a lot, but he's got some etymology ones and some other ones with symbols and symbology, and he shows you the monarch butterfly in the brain as a section of that. Yes, woman. I was right. Nice one. Grin. Is Crow 777 one of the good guys? So hard to know. I don't have first-hand knowledge. We take others on their actions. Actions speak louder than words, the deeds that they execute. You know, who knows? The devil is always going to be dressed as a gentleman, let me tell you that much. He will never be a horned red beast charging down the street going, you're mine. No, come up to you and make out as your best friend and can do all these things for you, and, you know, you won't know when you meet the demons in life. So that's something I'll just put out there. You know, no harm to anybody wished, but I can't answer that. From what I've seen and his topics, and when I watched the moon P900, was it, the moon footage with the moon having like a glitch on it and things, and listening to the chats and then having a chat with him briefly over on Sun and Moon, it was a privilege and an honour. He seems like a gentleman and a scholar. Boshai, Menza's on it, isn't it nice? New information, that's good about Tube, isn't it? What we do for each other, how we bounce back, what we do, sharing is caring. knowledge, consciousness. We need you up to speed with all of us, you know, and if it can be put out there straight away and just linked on, that's what we do. No copying down the script and writing new documents and publicising and going, hey, look everybody, look what I've had, it came to me in a dream, you know, a light shone on my head. Sorry Max, that's just you there, and it told me I'm number one, and now I've got this, and I, you know, I'm not, you know, I could have, see, but no, anybody can do anything. You just, that's what I mean. Is anybody good? Who knows? Just go with a trust. Trust has to be earned along with respect, and you don't abuse it. You know, you use it, and used well. It's very, very strong is the word I'll use there. Strong, unbreakable. The public trust, yes, it's rubbish. Man's trust, it's unbreakable. So, you know, when they know what they're doing and they're doing it right. I'd actually fallen asleep before it came on. Jerry, I like that. I like it a lot. Menza, I agree. Maybe he's had a knock. Maybe he's had a nudge. Maybe, look at, yeah, I know you all widely, worldly open, but yeah, I know. That's why I said a light shone on my head, and I got told I'm the one. I love the man to bits. I've watched a lot of Egan's, Egan. I always struggle with that. It's just such a wrong name. Not wrong, but, you know, hard for me, my brain. Yeah, and I like that acid in. I saw he's lost it. Some bloody good shrooms. Fair income, Menza. Everything is trust, yes, Mark, isn't it? And you're seeing that now. Trust indeed. Fist bump to the trust fam. Equity, sovereignty, initiates of self, scholars, guild, contributors. I bow, I doff my cap to you all. He's got a nice voice. He's got a nice flow. The guy on Crow's video, Curtis, he's got a good flow, and yeah, he's got a good angle. So we say thanks. Go and have a look. Thanks to Crow. Thanks to Curtis. Thanks to you for your time. You see what I'll be doing with this information, and helping it to span out to the fam. So this really is I don't know, a celebratory moment for consciousness, evolution, and the movement, synchronicity, syncretism. Saturn, time, Chronos, you know, this helps explain a bit of that as well, so it's not so you know, Manly P. Hall, Aleister Crowley, etc., Lovecraft and whatnots that have used the energies and certain things, and dark arts. You know, we've got Black's Law, the officers and agents dress in black, the robe in the vessel that's a dry dock posing as a court on the land is wearing what? Black. You know, we didn't make it this way. We're just telling you of which it is, and the warning bells that ring out to the rabbits in the headlights as we look up and go, what? So more massive amounts to come, relevant to the point. I will fix the hangout situation so we can have you know, a few heads on, literally heads in a box for you to look at and interact with. We are on that as well, imminently. So this delayed or singular will be finishing, and we'll be getting on with Switchboard Central for 2020, because it's needed. It's game, set and match, so just hang in there, defend what you can, do what you can. Knowledge, like I say, of the realm, it gives you knowledge of yourself. Ultimately, I'm no expert or master. I'm just a good storyteller. I like to tell stories. As you can see, I've told 600 and so many of them so far on this channel. Stories? Do you mean stories? That means they're not true. Well, they're stories of my life. They're video logs. So these are no legal advice here, no lawful advice. It's just a video log of David's journey from getting, you know, on in life, and how I see things and what people say, and how to do things, and what may happen and what has happened. So it's storytelling Isn't it fab? My story, not his story. His story, yeah, telling it, his story. History is just history. Nice link there, awaiting wisdom. So there's lots here, and enjoy. We'll see what Sister Special K, no pressure on, can do. I think that she was waiting on a hangout anyway. I may have ruined any kind of surprise that might want to be having. I don't know. Surprises are nice. We'll see what go on and how the tube chirp goes, and then we'll reconvene when everybody's on more of a level playing field and not having a random update of such by me. But just remember, it's energy, your energy. Someone mentioned a comment earlier of cells and energy. Lisa, was it you there mentioning symbiosis and dynamo Monday, Tesla harnessing off something, you know, kinetic, and then transferring and lighting up. You most know a dynamo from the front of a bike that your grandma probably had in the 80s, 60s, 70s, old time, before batteries. Instead of batteries was the idea, and the wheel turns when you pedal or ride or free wheel, the lights come on. By the revolution of the wheel going on the road, an additional wheel fitted to that wheel drives another little machine that creates the such and such for the bulb to come on and light up. So dynamo energy, a dynamo is fitted onto a wheel, so we are that wheel, you know, pedaling, going round, and you know, trudging. Energy bills, electricity, gas, diesel and petrol are the three main ones on every continent man has to sweat labour for to pay, that should be free. We're 120 odd years behind, at least minimum 150. Technology, engine combustion, 0 point energy, makes me sick. So energy, wheel, pedaling, sweat, and then someone comes along and takes a free ride, Jonathan Was, a free ride, and they put a little machine on like a dynamo and they light up their light for free by us pedaling, you see. So energy is being usurped and harnessed. It's been taken without due rights, God-given rights, unalienable rights. You know, so the circle is complete there. It's energy theft. The universe is comprised of abundance of energy, abundance of everything, and we're paying diesel, you know, gas, as in heating gas, and you know, benzene, international, you know, gas, different things in different continents, but language wise, yeah, you know, all kinds of fuel that you pay that's metered, that you could be getting for nothing. Got hydrogen from water. I didn't believe it. I was like, I'm not even stoned anymore. I'm not tripping. You're telling me fire is coming from water? And what world is this? This is my world that I'm in. And my mate showed me this. No scientist, no university. My mate Matthew. And I'm like, how did you find this? This is safe? Electricity and water? Oh, right. That's why we don't do it. No, but it's distilled water and such and certain electricity. Insane where we are. So the theft of energy, the theft of your soul via bonded paper certificates and Latin languages of the church don't wash anymore. And we've got brothers and sisters out there that are sick of having their energy stolen, their lands and environment and animals and, you know, futures of, and they've started to get together. And this is the beginning, like I say, of the next 10 years. And we start it like this. Imagine how we're going to be finishing it. Glorious, a photo finish for all of the mans that join this. I'm not trying to gang anything up or create anything. All I'm saying is it's on. We haven't been finished. There's no dying clock that's come, ticking millennium bug, end of the world 2012, etc. All of the negativity and the false flags that have gone off. We're here. It's happening. There's more bloodshed and heartache happening over geopolitical reasons, I'll argue. We'll leave it there. Energy, that dynamo on that wheel creating that light to light up, is going to be removed, or we'll harness the energy from that dynamo instead of somebody else. And that's what we're here for. People say, oh, but you help people get off with stuff, don't you, Dave? No, it's not about getting off. It's just there's a 2-tier system, if not more of a tierage, like a dimensional 11 you know, dimensions that we allegedly have. Well, the dimensions of your consciousness and realm are how we help you get out. It's not, we don't do anything. We give you information of which then you can use to defend the claims upon your person which aren't on man, which are there to steal your energy. So as we haven't got much energy and time and love and trust, the little that we have, we'd like to try and conceive. And then if we can help you conceive it, maybe you'll help us find a way out of this. And that is what I like about Tube. Not perfect, but you know, what we get, what we can do, and how we do that. Our energy is utilized. I give to you. You know, my cup runneth over. I am tired. I'm not on the camera because I look like crap. I need to go and eat now. I've neglected my fam to come and give this information out. The Santa Claus insurance policy, it's just so cemented many things in this little bit of beginning information. So give love, give light, give thanks, rejoice for the future. You know, you can say, Dave, you're a bit over the top here, but you know, I live and breathe this, and I need an ending. We are going to finish it, okay? In my mind, it's finished and done, and we are partying. Not partying in the traditional sense. It's a different type of party, this one. It's more, I'll leave it till the end. You'll see when we get there, all right? So, and that's where I am, and my energy, and I know you need me in some aspects for the G up, the jivvy up, the nudge, the etc. So I don't always fulfill that. I don't always respect it or recognise it, but there you go. We have done it on the back of 2 other fantastic souls. Oosh. Sheeps and neeps, though, R.I.P. Look at you lot going. I hope someone's been listening to me. I'm going now, sacrificing and devoting my time to the scribes to update the realm and say, boom, boom Shanka, Casablanca. Much appreciation for all of you, everybody. Eric, interesting, light giver, devil, Lucifer. What I found in my research and discovery there, you're not far off. Light, Lucifer, Luciferian, Satan, devil, Beelzebub. A name in heaven is what? The name when out of heaven is what? Yes, interesting. A Luciferian doctrine. There's many doctrines. I'd like a list of all of the doctrines, please, so we can just, you know, tab through them. Well said, Eric. Illuminated ones, let's go again. Alumni, university, chalkboards, squares. What was it? Alumni, illuminated. I've lost my thread. But light, into, yes. But it comes on status, standing and capacities to some extent when I say that, because of the name, place and title at that, you know, in particular. So again, much like they've done with Saviour, Messiah, Jesus, etc., each one meaning, place, you know. We all struggle with big fat gob spouting off fly. Look at my first few videos. It was probably me shouting in a car, angry. So we all need to do that, not just you. And yeah, positive vibes indeed. Even a good liar tells the truth most of the time. Menzie, you've mashed me. You, stop it. Bosh. Love thyself. Yes, Di, thank you. That's it, we're up on time. Say goodbyes. I'm catching up on the comments. Truth, it plagued Pontius Pilate. What is truth? What is it? Yeah, waiting wisdom. That's madness. And think of the environment and how the environment's built. The atmosphere, the oxygen, the hydrogen, the nitrogens. Who's keeping a balance on that? Because if that shizzle ever got too hydrogenated and oxygenated, one bloke lighting a tab end up could physically end the world. Just imagine all them gases out there and all those machines and all the industry, and they measure the parts per million of gases in such, you know. But there is a argumentation for the man that created the word Gaia and founded it in the 60s. I forget his name and what book he wrote now, but when he talked about Gaia, he said that the earth and the microbiological is an organism, blah blah blah, it's all one, not blah blah blah, but it's very important, but time wise, blah blah blah. Check it out yourself. Gaia regulating these gases, because if she doesn't, then boom. I'm like, actually, good point. So wisdom, it's interesting, all of it. It's just madness. The cake, the birthday cake was interesting. That we celebrate having the cake, putting on the candles, blowing out the candles, taking away the light, celebrating another Anon. Anon older moon cycles, certain things, cake eating, birthday cake. That was quite a touching, nice. Yeah. So enjoy, and we'll speak soon. Thank you very much for your time, and we will speak and meet soon. Ciao bello. Thank you. Goodbye.